Hello everybody, it's Battitz bringing you another RUSE replay. Only difference this time is it is the second phase of beta that just came out today. So, gonna be bringing you a replay from that. This match is a 2v2 on the new map. I don't even remember the name. But it's between me, Z German as the British, I'm playing the Americans, and Jokerguy and money sign BudLight. BudLight beer. So, some improvements over this beta. It no longer crashes 90% of the time when you try to get a game going. So far, I have not encountered a crash yet. Knock on wood. They've also unlocked some new AI difficulties. It used to be just easy or very easy, but now they also have medium and hard, and I played a game against a medium opponent and a hard computer opponent earlier, and I'm very happy to say that the AI actually seems quite competent. Some difficult matches against them, so that was very heartening to see. They also have some new maps for this beta, which is a very good thing to see. Though they have converted one of the 2v2 maps from the last beta, I think it was called Side by Side. It's now a 1v1 map, so that's unfortunate because that map is not one of my better ones. It's one of those very low resource maps where you only get probably 3 or 4 supply dumps the whole game, so it's a very quick match most of the time. Anyway, back to the game. I started with the usual 3 supply depots and 1 racks, 1 armor base. Pumped out the jeeps. Always get recon. Jeeps preferably because they are cheap and fast and run away from the enemy. Though I did see that my opponent BudLight got armored recon, so that was not cool to see. I mean, it's good to see that he got armored recon, but not against me, because that sucks. But he did not upgrade his medium tanks to Shermans, so I have an advantage most of the game against that, which was probably a grave mistake on his part, but speed this up a little. I didn't get to see what was happening on the left side during the game, so over here we have basically an air war going on between Z German and Jokerguy. Z German went British this game and forgot that he was going to do a paradrop, so he started with an infantry barracks and allowed Jokerguy to start getting out fighters, which was very unfortunate because when he finally did get out paratroopers, they were shot down quite quickly. Here on the right we have the first battle between myself and BudLight. I managed to get out Sherman tanks to counter his Lees, so I end up winning this first battle pretty handily. Finish off his Lees and drive back his armored recon while I advance my troops forward. I put on Blitz to make sure his tanks didn't get away and become a pain in the ass later. So, back on the left, it seems Jokerguy has also put up an anti-tank base and is getting out some 57mm and Wolverines. A common strategy I've seen used is the airfield anti-tank strat, where you basically get a bunch of fighters or fighter bombers or just bombers, and then you support it with anti-tank on the ground so that you don't get run over by tanks, and you support it from the air against infantry with air transports and bombers. But here we have myself advancing against BudLight with my Shermans and, well, basically just Shermans because my infantry, I used one to capture a supply depot and the other one's chilling in the forest. But BudLight quickly counteracted my tanks with anti-tank guns supported by medium tanks, so that was unfortunate. So I basically overextended myself here. I was getting cocky and ran in when I shouldn't have, but I start falling back here. Over on the left we have just massing airplanes, I believe. Or... okay, maybe he's just expanding a lot, Z-German is. But, Jokerguy appears to be doing the same, along with his tank destroyers. Most of the action happened right in this general area, most of the game. So BudLight is moving up with anti-tank guns. I think a new effect they added too is when you get closer and there's heavy gunfire going on, the screen tends to shake and judder. So that's a nice effect, I thought. But here I'm regrouping with most of my tanks, and I put a bunch of infantry in the woods, but unfortunately, since he has recon, they're not going to be able to surprise attack his tanks this time. Also made some anti-aircraft guns in case Jokerguy started to send planes my way, which thankfully he didn't most of the game. I see a huge line of anti-tank guns, so I fall my tanks back. So far I'm very impressed with this version of the beta. I was afraid I wasn't going to enjoy it as much as I had the first time because I've been playing the StarCraft 2 beta for a while now. But this game helped just reiterate how intense that it can get at times, and it was quite fun. And 1 second. Okay, sorry about that delay. I had a needy dog who needed to shut up. So I also turned up the volume because apparently I had turned it all the way down. But if my mic sounds low, it's because my headset mic has ceased functioning, so I'm using a desktop mic that apparently doesn't like to pick up sound. Alright, so here we have BudLight moving in on my forces in somewhat of a pincer movement. So I'm caught in between tanks and anti-tank guns, but luckily I had some infantry in the woods to push his tanks back. And I made some armored artillery to shell his anti-tank guns from afar. So luckily I managed to beat back this push for the moment. And I have some more reinforcements coming in to help mop up. And someone had wanted me to zoom in more on the action when it occurs, but this is what it looks like. To me they really look like cool RC cars, so I never like to zoom in that far. I honestly think it looks more epic from this scale, to be honest, but I'll attempt to zoom in sometimes for larger scale battles maybe, just to see the carnage. I do like looking at the burning forest and just the wrecks sometimes, because those are pretty cool to watch. Here we have a large push coming in from myself, which is probably not a smart idea seeing as he has Wolverines. No, not the X-Men character, which made me sound like a huge nerd, but whatever. So I attempt to do a reverse pincer movement on him with tanks from the side and the middle and supporting infantry coming up, which probably should have waited for them, but hey, that's what happens. So I just have, we both put on fanaticism for this battle, and makes your units fight to the death, but this time it served him better than it did me. I have artillery coming in from the back. But I end up losing this battle just because he has the tank destroyers, which counter my tanks quite handily. But as you can see from the score, switching back and forth, it was somewhat of a close battle, or score-wise at least. But he definitely wins that engagement, and at this point I feel pretty screwed. I'm like, German, if you have any fighter bombers, now would be a great time to send those over, but he's just been massing advanced fighters to counter Jokerguy's airplanes on the right. Thankfully I have